Hello and welcome to Console Gaming League. We have a Week 4 makeup for you between Desert Legion Gaming and Mounchies. Excited to kick this one off. Both teams right there in the middle of Contender tier, looking to sneak into one of those last spots in the playoffs for the Contender tier. Pretty tight this season, so hopefully one of these teams can get through. Desert Legion Gaming took a blow last night with a loss to Phantom Thieves, puts them at 3 and 4, and I think that may actually knock them out of the playoffs with how tight the rest of the tier is. Mounchies, on the other hand, looking to get this makeup to get them to the right side of 500, and I believe they have another game later on scheduled this week. I can check and see who that's against, but they'll be able to maybe lock their place into the playoffs, but it all starts here against Desert Legion Gaming. This game, like I said, a makeup from Hurricane Florence, so not the same Dorado kind of start that you're used to seeing in the rest of the games this week. We're doing a, like I said, that makeup, so it'll be Numbani and then Watchpoint and Hanamura, so kind of a long stretch of a game, but I'm excited for this one, and hopefully they can give us a good show. Both teams are ready to go, so we'll try and get you into Numbani as quickly as possible. And one thing that I think is enjoyable by doing the hybrid maps, like Numbani, especially in Week 4, we saw a lot of teams go kind of back and forth and maybe kind of struggle a little bit in trying to attack that initial point. So we'll see how these teams approach this. It will be Mounchies attacking first.
Traveling to Numbani.
And Desert Legion defending. I've seen some good things from both these sides. I've gotten a chance to do a couple Mounchies games, and I'll be definitely looking to a few of these members here. C-Team Alpha, the captain, I believe we had on the post game the last time I was able to do a Mounchies game last week, coming off a strong win there. So this team has a lot of momentum, and I think they'll be, really looking to get into the playoffs. Again, DLG, a good team, and really in this position, just looking to play spoiler over Mounchies, who I think still have an outside chance to get in. So yeah, we'll see what they're able to do here. Coming out immediately, like I said, it's Mounchies attacking first. C-Team Alpha on the D.Va as Ham, JZK goes Genji. Sergeant Soup on the Zenyatta as Beatier Coast fills out on Mercy. Suspect Brownie going McCree and Weary Bunny 80197. We'll just go with Weary Bunny on the Winston. For the defenders, Desert Legion Gaming as Desert Haze on the Lucio as PC Master Race goes Soldier. Imenyo on Tracer as Taxable Parrot goes Mercy. Desert Frost on the Winston, and a dive tank combo here from Bruh on D.Va. I like that combo here from the defenders. Interesting to see. We don't get to see the counter dive too often, mostly because it's difficult to execute well. So hopefully we get a good show here from Desert Legion Gaming on their defense. Coming around the attacking left-hand side, T-Team Alpha on the D.Va leading the way here for the rest of Mounchies, kind of floating in slowly behind them. Coming directly to point, and it's the defense again on the high ground, looking for just the post-engagement. The dive tanks from the attack now going up there to try and engage them. Fights breaking out of the point as Enyo here with the Tracer starts to get D.Va out of mech. That's bad for C-Team Alpha, dropping immediately. The defenders look like they're already off to a great start. Desert Frost gets in the mix as well. It's already 2 down here for the attackers. JZK is able to answer one the other direction, and they do have that shorter respawn, so it could be in a better spot. JZK with a double now, and things starting to look a little bit better for Mounchies. He's able to grab Taxable Parrot. Bruh starts to answer back, but I think the defenders are dwindling a little bit, but they may be able to have the advantage, trying to get away a little bit with Weary Bunny as JZK falls around him. They've got Beatier Coast here on the Mercy trying and stick in support, but now that isolated Mercy just looking to get to C-Team here in the middle. It will be C-Team actually deciding to engage the rest of the reinforcements coming in from the defense. But nice res there from Beatier Coast, just biding the time. Both tanks in now. Desert Haze drops for the defenders, and things swinging the direction of Mounchies here. Another res coming through as Desert Haze is able to get back up, but I don't think there's numbers there to continue that engagement. And it should be Mounchies capping the point. A strong start here from Mounchies. They're continuing, putting a little bit more of that pressure onto C-Team Alpha. Able to get the stagger onto Desert Frost. Sergeant Soup is able to answer, and I think that's PC Master Race already popping out with a tactical visor. Is able to pick up Suspect Brownie, but the point caps regardless. Now it's going to be PC Master Race and Enyo, both with a staggered spawn coming to the second section. So hopefully the defenders can weather the 6v4, as the rest of their members will have to wait to respawn. 5 ultimates, actually now 6 ultimates here for the attackers. Mounchies not really needing to use anything just yet. PC Master Race switching off the McCree over to, or switching off Soldier over to McCree. Self-destruct in from C-Team Alpha falls flat. It's another one from the other side. Bruh's able to find Beatier Coast, and the defenders have a bit of an advantage here. Desert Frost dropping, so now it's a 5v5. A Valkyrie up here for Taxable Parrot. Should keep everybody in the defense a little bit more bolstered. We'll see if they go for the res onto Desert Frost. Does so, and now the defense is back to full numbers. PC Master Race able to take down 2 here, both tanks. Weary Bunny falls, C-Team Alpha out of mech, and I think Desert Legion may be able to hold this point at least momentarily. Desert Haze caught out as Sergeant Soup's able to pick off that Lucio. The defender's still setting up well. No shield, though, and there could be a little bit more spam damage coming through from the attackers. The Dragon Blade here for JCK, looking for the perfect opportunity to use it. Hasn't found it just yet. And I'm kind of interested at how cautious I think Mounchies are being with their ultimates. Finally, a tire comes out from Suspect Brownie, hoping to catch one. Weary Bunny and C-Team. Oh, there's 2 kills for Suspect, and immediately 4 members down here for Mounchies. Or rather, for Desert Legion Gaming, and Mounchies continues to push. Keeping up the aggression, though, looking for those staggered kills. Will be a retreat here as Desert Haze switches over to the Ana. But yeah, really economical use of the ultimates as Mounchies will cap B. And Sergeant Soup getting in the mix as well here on the Zenyatta. Maybe waiting for this. It's interesting with this kind of Transcendence, really, you're looking for just mid-fight use. You know, your tanks start getting a little bit low and use it just to round out the rest of the fight. There's really nothing else that's going to help. Obviously, it won't counter a Deadeye. The Pulse Bomb it won't counter. It'll just save your Zenyatta. Nice self-destruct from C-Team. Taking down Desert Frost and Tactical Parrot. And the aggression continues for Mounchies trying to get into this 3rd section. Fantastic time bank. 4 minutes and 10 seconds for them. And looking really good so far. Suspect able to grab another one. And the defense kind of reeling a little bit. They need to stop and regroup, get their numbers back. Desert Frost over to a Reinhardt. I think that's a fantastic switch, but gets crowded out immediately. Now it's JZK with the Dragon Blade looking for a couple members. The Deadeye from Master Race is able to catch Suspect Brownie, but JZK finds the support regardless. Yeah, C-Team with another kill, and it seems like for every one the defenders can get, it's 2 the other direction. Res back in to keep the attack bolstered here. Enyo, though, putting in work for the defense. Desert Legion Gaming able to get a couple kills, but now falling to JZK, who's having a fantastic round here on this Genji. Not a lot of target focus from the defenders. I think they're kind of defending for their lives at this point, but I think finally able to wrap up. JZK, the only one left alive for them. Finally dropping, the defenders can hold off the attack for the 2nd time this game. PC Master Race caught out on the high ground, could be in a tough spot, but finds the safety of Desert Frost shield. C-Team Alpha will retreat and looking for a chance to use the self-destruct. Won't get it though, as PC Master Race is actually able to take that Diva out of mech, so they'll have to wait to use the ultimate. Suspect Brownie, the only one here with the Rip Tire for the attackers' Mounchies. We'll see if he's able to use that to engage. Had some beneficial tires previously, able to get doubles and kind of swing those fights Mounchies' direction, but nothing yet as the defenders start to get a couple picks. Beatier Coast and JZK down means the attack will have to retreat and regroup. Weary Bunny and Suspect Brownie join the Fallen. Enyo finally dies to the kind of death bombs from Junkrat, but otherwise, the defense in a pretty good spot. Desert Frost may be a little bit far forward, but just allowing the rest of his team to come and help a little bit. Here comes a self-destruct, fantastically placed. It will go directly into the shield, though. I liked the idea with how far forward the defense was pushed, but they couldn't quite make the most of it. Still able to get the stagger on the PC Master Race, but it's a 5v5. C-Team Alpha back up, and Mounchies have a little bit of a chance to come back in, but I think by the time they get into the fight, there'll be enough reinforcements. We're unable to and Bruh both down. The tank's down here for the defenders. It's the Riptire. A little bit patient with that. I like Suspect Brownie's approach to that Riptire. They weren't quite able to take it down with as long as he was stalling, but the bubble goes down from Zarya and able to get the kill there. A Valkyrie up here for Tactical Parrot. In a tough spot, is able to retreat, but everybody's off the point, and that will do it for the attackers. Not a lot of criticisms, but again, Sergeant Soup only used that Transcendence, I think, right there towards the end. So maybe we could have had a chance to use a little bit earlier, and they could have won that a little sooner. But regardless, that's all you need. 1 minute 33 seconds on the clock for Mounchies, and a fantastic start here on Nubani. Now the response from Desert Legion Gaming on their attack. Mounchies opening up well. Like we said, sometimes Nubani can be difficult to attack, but they were able to kind of break that first point down. It took a little while, but able to get through. Now looking to defend well and come away with this first win. Again, like we saw in week 6, with no control point map in the middle or in the set at all, it makes a little bit of a longer game. You get to that third game on Hanamura, and it's going to be interesting to see who still has the mental fortitude to keep up with the strategies. We could be at a 1-1 there, so it could, be all the more important, or obviously one of these teams could come away with the first 2 maps. But still, when you've got a hybrid, then a payload or escort, and then the assault map, those long games can be a little difficult, especially if you go into multiple rounds. So the possibility for that here, if DLG caps with time, we'll go into round 3. Otherwise, we'll be on to Gibraltar. For the attackers, Desert Haze back on the Lucios. PC Master Race is on the Sombra now. This should be interesting. Enyo still in the Tracers. Tactical Parrot once again goes Mercy. Desert Frost and Bruh unchanged on their dive tanks. For the defenders, a little bit more of a tighter knit comp as CT Alpha switches over to the Zarya. It's JCK on the Junkrat. I like that pick. Sergeant Soup on the Zenyatta. Already in a difficult spot as Sombra's able to find him. PC Master Race didn't get the hack off, I don't believe. And Sergeant Soup lives to fight another day. BDR Coast joins on support as Enyo picks up the first kill for the attacker. Suspect Brownie on the Hanzo now down. Weary Bunny on Reinhardt. I think that was a good change towards the end, and hopefully they're able to, or rather, I think it was the change from the defenders in the first round, but I think Reinhardt good on this map. Regardless, getting crowded out there. Both supports and a tank down here for Mounchies, and Desert Legion Gaming making quick work of the defense. Able to cap A much more quickly, and a fantastic second round attack coming out here for Desert Legion. A few stragglers there in the back. They're able to cap the point and get the stagger on to JZK. That'll be huge for them without that Junkrat raining in damage through this Streets phase. Taking the fight early are Mounchies a little bit far forward, but also a little bit spread out. C-Team taking the kind of payload as Weary Bunny in the back, trying to worry about Enyo and Master Race. This approach from the DPS from DLG, interesting, just kind of separating the defenders a little bit, kind of pulling them away from the objective. I like the push up here, though, from the attack, just to continue taking the fight away from the payload and let it scoot in behind them. Bruh, PC Master Race getting the kills they need to continue this push. Desert Legion Gaming looking very strong and largely uncontested through this entire second section. C-Team able to continue getting a little bit of charge. And has a Graviton, so they'll be looking to combine that with maybe JZK's Tire, just something they can use to slow down this defense, or this attack, rather. 2 down here for Desert Legion Gaming, but Taxable is able to bring Enyo back into the fray. Right on the doorstep of the B checkpoint, the fight breaks out again as the defenders come to engage. It's a Graviton that comes out, only catches 1. Bruh's in there, Desert Haze gets caught as well. The Tire coming through will catch 1, but will answer one back the other direction with the self-destruct. Bruh able to get a mech back that way, or actually, I think while out of mech going down to the Tire, so maybe the fight's still favoring the defense. Enyo with 2 picks there. A pulse bomb and another 2. That Tracer absolutely popping off right now, and that'll allow DLG to continue pushing the payload. Enyo with a fantastic job on this Tracer. Struggled maybe a little bit in the first round, but kind of getting into a rhythm a little bit with the rest of the team. This attack looks good, and a large part of it is Enyo just causing problems for the support line in the back of Mounchies. Still 2 ultimates, including the Shatter. Suspect Brownie very close to a Death Blossom, so a possibility for the defenders to stop the bleeding, so to speak. Weary Bunny looking to get in. Remember, there's really no shield here for the attackers, so on paper at least, Weary Bunny should be able to get a kill here very quickly. Already with 2 kills, though, as Suspect Brownie and JZK able to knock out that dangerous double for Desert Legion Gaming. They find a 3rd pick up there, and finally DLG will have to retreat. But it's been a very strong attack from them. Still 4 minutes and 52 seconds on the clock for Desert Legion Gaming coming into the 3rd checkpoint. And they'll have a lot of time to spare if they're able to cap this early and put themselves in a very good position to come away with a win in rounds 3 and 4. One thing to note, no, not a lot of ultimates here for Desert Legion Gaming. However, they do have the EMP, which can be enough there. There's the EMP, and I think it actually catches 5. And he was able to switch, or actually switches over the Hanzo and catches Weary Bunny and Suspect Brownie in the midst of it all. Still a 6v4 here for the attackers. Bruh's able to get another kill into Meteor Coast. That's huge for them. JZK, the only one able to answer one back, but the advantage, everything going DLG right now. Taxable gets Enyo back in. Strong play there. The reinforcements already building for the defenders as the payload continues to push. It's a pin in from Weary Bunny, but goes directly into the Moira from Desert Haze. Nice combination. The Graviton from the defenders came out, but it was a Dragon Strike to kind of keep them protected and prevent anybody from being able to swing through. No kills, though, for the attack, but it was a very smart Dragon Strike there from Enyo just to prevent any of that damage coming through during the Graviton. Steel defense, not really able to get any kind of position. Weary Bunny a charge back into point and needs a little bit of help. It's C-Team now on the Wrecking Ball, but Weary Bunny's already down. A nice shatter in from the back and a pin then on from Bruh. Yeah, just everything going DLG's way right now, and I think that Mounchies is kind of reeling, kind of on the back foot and having a difficult time really breaking through. Switch over to the Mei here from JZK just to try and stall out a little bit, but still the kills going the way of Desert Legion. Yeah, Death Blossom now out as another Dragon Strike for Enyo directly through the fold of it all, and actually still doesn't catch anybody. Maybe a little bit of damage helps the rest of the kills come through. Bro with the double on a suspect and C-Team. Payload just inches now away from finishing, and I think that just about will do it. Desert Legion Gaming with a solid round 2 performance. We go into multiple rounds. So I know, like I said, after that first round, the possibility of multiple rounds here does make, obviously stretches out the game time a little bit, and it can make it difficult by the time you get to Hanamura just to be able to have the cohesion and the focus. Start getting a little bit tired. That could definitely start to play a factor, but before we get to that, obviously we've got round 3 on Nibbanic here, which we'll see Mounchies attacking again, and it was a really strong push from Desert Legion Gaming. I think that Mounchies really conservative with their ultimates, and they were still able to take that first point, but a little bit more slowly. It was a bit of a slog through the center section because, again, not really willing to engage their ultimates. Finally, towards the end, able to push it through, and obviously you see 1 minute and 33 seconds there. They won't get any additional time, so just 93 seconds for DLG to defend this. Enyo, who did play well on the Tracer, still on the Hanzo. I think that was a good pick and able to earn those Dragon Strikes incredibly quickly and just separate the Mounchies team. Not many changes for this red team as JZK goes back over to the Genji. I think that's smart. And Suspect Brownie now on the Tracer. Sergeant Stoop starts to look a little bit better on the Zenyatta with Enyo now on the Hanzo, like we said. Even Taxable Parrot able to now on Moira with the Coalescence will make it kind of essential to have that Transcendence available for the mid-fight. And obviously, if you're in a good position as Zenyatta and able to save your team when the EMP comes through, that can be major. So definitely keeping an eye out for PC Master Race, who is actually invisible and scouting out the attacking team currently for the defense. Going around to this high ground, it's aggressive approach for them. I think that's smart as Taxable Parrot falls immediately, and Mounchies now with a very limited time bank, but a lot of opportunity to take this first point. Pin coming through. And Desert Frost falls as well. It's a 6v4 for Mounchies here coming into this attack, and they have a really good opportunity to come back onto point. Already starting to earn a single tick. Not quite there, though, as now it's just complete chaos here on the point. Kills going either way, and hard to tell who really has the advantage, but Desert Haze still up on the high ground, able to protect a little bit. Enyo with a Dragon Strike already. Doesn't find anybody, but that's a shot over the bow here for the attackers. Mounchies C-Team back into mech and continuing this brawl here with strike partner Weary Bunny on the Winston. Kills still going the way of the attack Mounchies, and they have a tick on the board now. 30 seconds to go, and it's Desert... Yeah, Desert Frost just gets crowded out again and taken down. Suspect Brownie brought back into the fold via the res, and that's a fantastic attack for Mounchies. 20 seconds left. They're able to cap A here, and looking for more as C-Team going in on PC Master Race. But able to, or actually I think Enyo, but regardless, Sergeant Soup now down. That's going to be a little bit difficult. Now you just have to be conscientious if you're the attackers. Stay on that payload with 6 seconds left, not getting any additional time left. Self-destruct over the top just to offset the fight. Fantastic double there for C-Team Alpha. Picks up Taxable Parrot and Bruh. That's exactly what they need just to continue pushing this mid-fight. Obviously, you know, we're all aware, hybrid maps especially, able to cap that first point, get a couple kills quickly. The staggered long spawn from the defenders means that, you know, Mounchies can maintain this momentum and continue getting kills through the center section enough to push it. Definitely something we see in overtime. I've seen it on Gibraltar entirely too many times. Been on the right and wrong side of it. But here we go. Fantastic combination. The EMP coming through. It's a shatter. Catches everybody. JCK out with a Dragon Blade. He's already got 2. Looking for a third. Nobody on the payload, and that will wipe it. EMP Shatter Blade, and that's all they needed. Finally able to wrap up that point, but... Whew. Solid there from Mounchies. A lot of ultimates coming out. I think a good push for them. DLG, we saw how quickly they attack, though, and honestly, if I was a betting man, I think I still might think DLG has a bit of the advantage. Obviously, capping the point is significant, but, you know, when you're looking at the distance pushed on the payload, combined with how quickly DLG was able to cap the point, it's going to take a pretty strong defense from Mounchies to stop this team. As it stands, I think they would have been in a better position. JZK used that ultimate and was able to get 2, and I think they had a bit of the advantage, but the EMP shatter kind of caused them to scramble a little bit. And I think they were kind of forced off the point. Regardless, though, going into the fourth round, this will be the final one, and both of these teams obviously looking to get off to the right start. If you're just now joining us, Mounchies coming into this game at 3-3. This is a makeup game from week 4 from the Contender tier, and if they're able to win this game and then win their remaining game this week against Panthera Tigress, who's kind of sitting in a really good spot here in the Contender tier. Rather 2-5, I apologize. Confused them with, I think, Panthera Lee on the other side, who are doing really well. But Panthera Tigers 2-5, and Mounchies, you know, facing Desert Legion here at 3-4, facing a 2-5 team, a possibility to get 5-3 and really start to look a lot better in the playoff projections. Contender tier is so tight. Already some results this week. Kind of make it a little bit clearer who's going to get that playoff spot, but first, this game. Obviously swapping immediately Desert Frost and Sergeant Soup down. It's a 5v5 here as Desert Legion continue to attack. Sergeant Soup back into the fray as Brug gets another kill on a Weary Bunny. Still, I think the advantage favors Desert Legion, though. Enyo now on the Brigida. Nice flexibility here from the DPS player for Desert Legion Gaming. Tax will pair it onto Sergeant Soup as JZK earns, oh my goodness, how quickly was that Deadeye earned? Able to get Desert Haze, nothing else. JZK then falls, the suspect drops as well, and Desert Legion already have a took on the point, looking for a second. And yeah, I think it's going to be Mounchies having to concede this. And already you see that yellow rectangle, that's all they have to get to, and still 2 minutes on the clock for Desert Legion Gaming, who continue to turn the screw here on these defenders. C-Team, though, on the Roadhog now with a Whole Hog. We'll have to get the Div out of mech first, but I think an opportunity, one of those ultimates can definitely push the team off the points, so maybe they can sit back a little bit further on their defense and look for a chance to just push everybody off in overtime, but decides to use it here. Attacking Graviton comes out, it's self-destruct as well. Combination catches 2, fantastic combo there. 4 kills down for Desert Legion Gaming. The payload continues to roll. Yeah, I think that'll just about do it. Everybody drops here. That's a team kill for Desert Legion Gaming, and they will comfortably coast into the first one of the series here on the money. Solid performance there from Tactical Parrot, playing a lot of Mercy, then switching over to that Moira, and just able to combine well. I think all the way around, Desert Legion looks very solid, and they'll be attacking first when we go into Watchpoint Gibraltar. We'll be right back right after this.
It's nice to be appreciated.
And welcome back to Console Gaming League, where we've got Desert Legion Gaming and Mounchies from the Contender tier. It's a makeup game from week 4 and already off to a good start. Our Desert Legion Gaming looking to maybe play spoiler here to Mounchies, who need this win to have a good shot of getting into the playoffs. Contender tier very tight, and both these teams kind of sitting right there on the cusp of maybe getting that 6th spot, but there's a lot of teams in the 3-4, 4-3 range right around them. So Mounchies have a game against Panthera Tigris later on in the week, but looking to start off well here and go up to 4-3. Obviously 5-3 looks a lot better, but they need the win here first, and they're already in a bit of a hole. Desert Legion with a pretty strong defense, but they did allow the full cap of the map for Mounchies on their initial attack, but then came back through with an attack of their own. Very strong, able to cap as well, and then a hold in the center section on round 3 led them to a strong attack and a win there. So still a pretty tight game, and I think a lot to play for both sides. Watchpoint Gibraltar is up next, and we are switching sides, so it'll be Desert Legion attacking first. We'll see how that changes the shape of this map. Already the series, though, pretty exciting. I know we've talked about, or I mentioned a little bit, that with Watchpoint up next and then Contender to close it out, it'll be a really long match for both these sides. So looking to stay focused here and get those wins. Looks like we have the readies from both captains, so appreciate your patience. Get you into Watchpoint without delay.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Watchpoint, obviously a classic Overwatch map. And one that I think, because it's been around so long, people are kind of reluctant to play a little bit, but I actually like Watchpoint. Like we said, switching sides, so now it's Mounchies defending first. Desert Legion comes out to attack, looking for a strong attack here. And again, if this is anything like their new bonding attack we'd expect, nice bit of aggression. Actually, as I say that, maybe falling into the pirate ship trap. No, certainly not. Not with that shield tank. Yeah, there we go. PC Master Race over to the Sombra as Desert Haze is on the Lucio here. Enyo onto Tracer. Thought about the McCree. Is solid with both. Taxable Parrot on the Mercies, Desert Frost and Bro looking to dive in, doing just that immediately. But I think the defenders weathering the storm pretty well so far. No one dropping just yet. It's also a dive here from the defenders. Interesting with the Brigida, though. Maybe there to protect the supports, but also a Genji. So the defense from Mounchies, an interesting strategy. Not exactly sure how they plan to execute here, but regardless, it's Desert Legion pushing very well and no one really down to contest the payload. So I'm not sure what the defense is doing, because I'm pretty sure we haven't seen anybody fall just yet. Still worried about the fight up on the top. Sergeant Soup in a tough spot. It will be the first casualty of the game, but JZK able to answer one back and avenge that support and drop Desert Frost. Brought a mech as well, and the attackers start to fall as the defense starts to get a couple kills. I think the payload was pushed pretty far before they finally decided to stop it, though. But Desert Legion, regardless, starting to get some of these picks. Easy Master Race able to take down Sergeant Soup. That's what you expect out of your Sombra. JCK here with the Dragon Blade looking for a chance to use it. Hasn't thought it prudent just yet, but it's a back cap going through as Enyo here on the Tracer trying to get the payload push, and almost was successful. Has to retreat and may be able to get back. C-Team going in there once again, cleaning up the tanks from Desert Legion. And yeah, Mounchies on this defense looking really solid. I know it does say Desert Legion there above JZK, but that Mounchies is the blue on your left-hand side. I think both teams actually say Desert Legion, but it is the red team is Desert Legion attacking first, and Mounchies is defending. Payload's sliding back a little bit. They'll have to be conscientious, though. Enyo tried the back cap, and they've got PC Master Race maybe there as well, but Sergeant Soup able to drop that Tracer. Master Race making a swap, perhaps. Preemptive self-destruct coming in from the defense, able to catch Desert Frost, and yeah, Mounchies looking really good on the defense. The Payload was pushed a little bit, but they kind of regained their footing, and Desert Legion haven't been able to really get past this initial kind of choke point. Trying to ignore the defenders and go directly down at the point. It's a self-destruct over the top here for, I believe that was Bruh, but right into the bubble there from Weary Bunny, and it falls largely harmless. Suspect Brownie and Weary able to get a couple. Enyo answers one back with a double, as now it's Beatty or Coast up in a Valkyrie. Able to come down and get the res on the Suspect. Transcendence coming out here from Sergeant Sue, fantastically timed, and will help the rest of Mounchies clean up. There we go. That's what we're looking for. The mid-fight Transcendence is obviously, you know, you always want to be able to hold on to Transcendence when you've got like a Death Blossom or a Rocket Barrage on the way. But yeah, being able to use that mid-fight there could be crucial for them. And I mean, other than Taxable Parrot's Coalescence, not really anything that you're looking for to counter as Sergeant Soup. So really nice Transcendence use there. But now under 60 seconds, it looks like a completely different Mounchie side coming in and defending much better than they did on Numbani. Desert Legion having a really hard time getting past this defense, and already Weary Bunny able to take down PC Master Race there on the Doomfist. So now with 30 seconds left, it's a 6v5, and things starting to look a little bit rough for Desert Legion on their attack. Desert Frost dropping as well. It's just a long stagger here from Mounchies, and yeah, just really like how they've responded to that initial setback from the loss on Numbani. JZK now with the Dragon Blade able to pick up Enyo, looking for another one. Sergeant Soup able to help out as Desert Haze will fall as well, and the kills just going the way of Mounchies. Kill feed completely blue, and no one even thinking about contesting the payload. Finally, Bruz able to get in there, but very low on health. Finally, will drop as Sergeant Soup grabs a second. Was able to take down Taxable Parrot as well. Solid defense there from Mounchies. Yeah, they will clean up. Again, very impressive response. Full hold on a payload is difficult to do, certainly. And I know we were kind of worried about multiple rounds on some of these longer maps, but not the case here on Watchpoint Gibraltar, as you know, Mounchies in a pole position to tie up this series before we go into Hanamura. Definitely not far to push the payload here for Mounchies, looking to tie up this series and keep their playoff hopes alive with a win here. Again, they have to face Panthera Tigers, the 2-5 team, to try and give themselves a better chance. Obviously, at 4-4, it's a little bit better. I think sitting with map points now, Mounchies do have 10. So if they were able to win this game, obviously it would only be 2 map points for them, but it starts to look a little bit better. Most of their rivals in the contender tier have around 10 or 11 map points, so that's kind of right where you want to be. 4-4 is not, you know, ideal, but I think it may be enough to push them over the edge with some of the map wins and some of the just head-to-head matches they've gotten throughout the season. So obviously it makes it even bigger, because if Mounchies were to take the loss here and Desert Legion goes up to 4-4, and then Mounchies drops to Panthera Tigers and they end up 4-4, DLG has the tiebreaker on the head-to-head. So it's kind of a lot of intricacy at stake here between both the sides. Payload pushing quickly as you'd expect. Mounchies coming out quickly to try and be aggressive and push back this defense. Doing just that, the Payload just calmly pushing behind them as they continue to push back the defenders here from Mounchies. Desert Haze able to answer one back onto JCK, and maybe that'll open the door for them to re-engage this before the payload will cap. Desert Legion doing what they can to try and get out of this hole, but it's already a Primal Rage coming out from Weary Bunny, just pushing them all back into the corner, and now they're inches away, 0.02 meters away from capping this point. Still just 3 minutes on the clock here for Mounchies that go in to cap this. Desert Legion Gaming comes rolling back on their defense to try and catch a couple. Here's a Death Blossom from PC Master Race, is able to take Suspect Brownie, and the kill start going the way of the defenders. Right here at the death. No time to spare whatsoever. The Coalescence may be a bit of an overcommitment from Taxable Parrot, but they'll be happy to continue contesting another day. 0.02 meters, and yeah, that far away from losing this map and having to tie up the series. See the silhouettes there from Mounchies coming back in aggressively. A few ultimates to work with. C-Team with the self-destruct to engage. We may see the JZK Dragon Blade. Self-destruct over the top falls flat. Sergeant Soup's able to get a kill in a PC Master Race regardless. The Dragon Blade should come out any second here from JZK. And they'll have a Transcendence well from Sergeant Soup. So at least on paper, things start to look very good for Mounchies. A double death from Bruh, though, may delay them a little bit, as now it's also C-Team Alpha, I think, out of mech. Oh, still doing just fine. I think just stunned there. Regardless, a bit of, again, chaos on the point. I think the fight already lost here for Mounchies. DLG has a bit of the advantage there, and I think if they retreat and re-engage, they may be in a better spot. But, you know, again, if they had invested the Dragon Blade with the Transcendence, they may have been able to just wipe right there. Enya with a very dangerous Deadeye. And again, looking to shut down the attack, but a few members could make it difficult, obviously, with the shield from Suspect Brownie and C-Team Alpha here with the defense matrix. Could be a little bit difficult. Still a minute and a half. Kind of surprised to see this from Mounchies. I really thought they'd be able to roll through and take that point, and they very nearly did until Desert Legion dug in their heels and prevented the cap. Now with a rally to engage from Suspect Brownies to keep everybody up as they come back in for this fight. It's a stun onto Desert Frost, or rather onto Bra, but now it's Desert Frost with the Whole Hog coming out. Ultimate's all over the place. The Deadeye from Enyo does catch Hayam JCK, and they won't be able to use... I think he may have tried to invest the Dragon Blade and went down regardless. Again, ultimates all over the place. PC Master Race able to take down Beat Coast, but I think the self-destruct from C-Team was helpful. Payload still maybe creeping a little bit further forward. They're trying to clear out the rest of these members, and no one's touching it. There it is for the defense. Or Desert Legion finally able to get to it. Ooh. Actually, I'll take that back. It was, like I said, Mounchies able to cap. Desert Legion just got off the point there and just crowded out by the rest of the players there from Mounchies, and really solid response to tie up the series. A really solid response there from Mounchies. All to play for as we go into the final map on Hanamura. Desert Legion Gaming and Mounchies will switch sides. So we'll see if they can come back out and who will be on top when we take the series. Be right back right after this. Welcome back to Console Gaming League, where we've got Desert Legion Gaming and Mounchies all locked up from the Contender tier in this Week 4 makeup. Desert Legion coming out strongly and taking Numbani in 4 rounds, 5-4. Mounchies coming out with a spectacular defense of their own with the full hold, and then finally able to cap through after a few pushes there. But again, really solid job from both these sides. Desert Legion dropping their game earlier this week to Phantom Thieves means they will be in kind of a difficult spot trying to get into those playoffs, but a win here would give them the opportunity. A win now would put them up to 4-4 and I believe 10 map points, which is kind of the same range the rest of the teams are in. Mounchies, on the other hand, up against Panthera Tigress later in the week, the 2-5 team, and looking to get a win here and a win there to go 5-3 and kind of cement themselves into one of those contender playoff spots. So a lot on the line for both these sides, and it's been a really good watch so far. We swapped again, so coming into the final map, Hanamura, Mounchies will be attacking first. We saw a strong but kind of tentative attack from them. It was consistent, and they were able to cap the point on our first map. So sorry, Numbani, with about a minute and a half left on the clock. So we'll see if they can come back in just as strongly. Desert Legion, their point attack was pretty convincing. So we'll see if they're able to, come back in here and respond just as well. But again, lots to play for, and both the teams, I think, just about ready to go. So we'll get you into Hanamura without delay.
Traveling to Hanamura.
Like, may have lost somebody during the interim. So if we get you back in really quickly, and we'll make sure we have everybody in. But while we have an opportunity, guys, make sure we get that lobby sorted. CGL Breakdown, our weekly recap, has been going really well. I feel like we've had about 4 episodes so far. That's Tuesday nights at 9:30 Eastern. We'll go over kind of Overwatch news in general, then dive more into the league news with the CGL. We got the 1v1 going on and some more events coming out, so you can tune into that. Then we get into news and analysis for each of the tiers, with highlights from each tier, game of the week, Carbon, Challenger, Contender, Rival, all the way up to Champion. Able to go into those in detail with Matt. You may know him as Wittycalf, and Headrammer as well. So it's been a pretty good watch. I've enjoyed being a part of it, and we're able to do top plays and things like that. So if you've got submissions for your top plays, make sure you submit them in the info hub. Also, the CGL Happy Hour, I think it was this past Thursday, but now I want to say they're moving it to Wednesday, but we'll have more information about that in the Discord as well. CGL Happy Hour is just kind of a bit of a variety show run by Skate Action and General No Nips. They have really good back and forth, really kind of witty banters. They do a little bit of different speeds, some arcade games. I think they did Junkenstein in their last show, and they'll have a few guests on the show just from the community, and just kind of talk about different things. And it's a lot of fun. Definitely a good watch as well. We're excited to have that show up and running as well. So that's, I believe, is now Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, CGL Happy Hour. If you're looking for more Overwatch action, again, with this rebrand to the CGL, we have now opened up not just to Xbox, to PS4 as well. And to kick it off, we have a PlayStation 4 GM Showcase tournament next weekend. We have some of the top PlayStation teams and players in just a showcase to kind of show, kind of, welcome them into the league, and I was kind of excited for that. Looks like we did lose a player, so make sure we get that thing out real quick. Oh, fantastic. Suspect Brownie able to get back in the game, so don't have to worry about that. But the Yeah, going through some of the teams that have registered for this, guys, there's one team in particular that has 2 of the top 10 players on PS4 in it. So you're looking at a lot of top 100, top 200 players in this tournament, and definitely one you will not want to miss. That'll be next weekend on the main channel here. Obviously, we're casting from Mixer this time, so we'll try and get some videos onto Mixer as well, but we'll be either broadcasting on the Mixer channel or on CGL Overwatch on Twitch. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. A little bit of technical difficulty trying to get a player back into the lobby, but I think we're completely sorted now. And yeah, like I said, if you're just now joining us, Desert Legion Gaming 3 and 4 up against Mounchies, looking to get into a playoff spot. Both these teams with a slight chance of getting in. Mounchies maybe with a little bit better opportunity to get into the playoffs, but still a chance for DLG. And they came out in Nubani and looked very solid. A little bit of a trip up in the second map. Watchpoint Gibraltar not quite able to get to the first tick, but hopefully they'll be able to get off to a better start here. Oh, actually looks like we still have a little bit of a player lag, so we'll give you just stick with us for just 1 second. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back after a lengthy delay. We do apologize for that, but I appreciate your patience and sticking around. Finally back into Desert Legion and Mounchies. 1-1 all tied up here going to Hanamura. Had a bit of player difficulty, so we finally got everybody sorted. We're back into the game. It'll be Mounchies attacking first. And after, I think we recapped it previously, a strong showing on Nimbani. We were able to cap the point and eventually complete the map, but then coming back out, Desert Legion Gaming able to complete as well. Then able to take it in 4 rounds. Coming back out, Mounchies in Watchpoint Gibraltar. A nice defense for them, a full hold to start, and they're able to get all the way through and then tie up the series. So, again, playoff implication on the line. And we've kind of hashed it a couple times, but lots to play for here for both these teams. And it very well could be one of their last games of the season, or rather the last game of the season for one of these teams. So, a lot on the line here. Coming out for the defenders, Salvatore, the substitute coming in, is on Brigida as PC Master Race is going Zarya. Bruh over to the Mei. Fantastic Mei pick here in defense on this this Hanamura point. Desert Frost and Reinhardt. Desert Haze on the Zenyatta is Sowing Plague. Another substitute coming in is now on the Ana. For the attackers, the C Team Alpha on the Diva is Gaming Sorcerer coming in. Another substitute for now on Zarya. Weary Bunny on the Reinhardt. JZK on Brigida, Beater Coast and Moira, Sergeant Soup on the Lucio. Coming in very aggressively. The Maywall did nothing here for the defenders, and a very aggressive attack coming through already here from Mounchies. Desert Frost able to get his opposite though. Weary Bunny falling, and the kills going completely the way of the defenders immediately. Strong start there to hold on to this defense. I like the aggressive attack coming in from the attackers, but they couldn't quite get over the line, and DLG will hold. Yeah, nice unique attack there coming in from the top. I like the high ground approach. Sergeant Soup gets kind of staggered there, so the attack will have to wait for the Lucio to come back before they continue engaging, but solid start from Mounchies. I think DLG weathered that well. 60 seconds off the clock, and the attack comes back in to re-engage. Weary Bunny already a little bit low, able to get a little bit of help from his healers. A lot of spam coming through from the defenders, and they'll go just directly through this time. Oh, walled off again. That's a very nice Mei wall, and C-Team will suffer for it. That's exactly what you like to see, and I like the defensive Mei pick, like I said. Shadow coming through. Didn't really catch anybody, but I think they're going to try and be aggressive here on Desert Frost. We have overextended. Eyes bigger than the stomach. Weary Bunny able to get 2 picks there, and that could be the initiation for Mounchies, even with the loss of the Diva. Shadow coming through the other direction. Fantastic catches too. Sergeant Soup helps clean up, and I think that right there will be a good cap here for Mounchies. Just supports left to go. Yeah, I think making quick work there of those supports. JZK knocks Desert Haze off the edge. Sowing Plague will fall to Weary Bunny's hammer. And 2 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock. Mounchies will cap A. Very quick attack here from Mounchies. Kind of what we saw on Nimbani as well. About 2 minutes off the clock for them to cap. Now they come in with 6 minutes. It's a sleep coming through, but then also the Maywall from the defenders. The Graviton catches a couple, but they can't follow up with damage. Keel's going back and forth right now as Desert Frost picks up a second. Looks like on the service right now, the defense looks pretty good. The Coalescence, though, trying to keep everybody up. Won't quite fall, though. A lot of assists coming in for Desert Legion Gaming. And I think they'll be able to clean up the defense quickly. C-Team Alpha just dropping Haze. There's a little goodbye gift and then drops back out, but we saw this on the first point. DLG able to hold initially. The Mounchies coming back through with some aplomb. They do have the self-destruct here they can use to initiate. Not a lot else, though, so maybe it'll be trying to bait out a couple ultimates before they commit anything else. C-Team in a tough spot. Bro will come up to try and capitalize. A little bit of help from JZK, but a fantastic shatter coming through will catch a couple. Ooh, I think the shatter plus the pin, though, that Blizzard ended up being kind of wasted there because nobody was really caught in it, but they still have a couple kills. Though Desert Frost will suffer for it. Another regroup here from Mounchies. 2 minutes off the clock since their initial, actually just about a minute, I guess, a minute and a half off since they capped that first point. Aggressive forward defense, helping amp up Gaming Sorcerer. I think both Darius trying to get some charge. That Maywall will block their attack, though, and force another route. Yeah, Mounchies having a little bit of a difficult time contesting with this Mei and trying to figure out exactly how they want to approach the point. Sound Barrier coming through will catch quite a few. Now Weary Bunny going into point. A nice transcendence there from Desert Haze to keep everybody doing okay. With JZK on the Soldier note, that Tactical Visor could be just devastating. I think maybe holding on to that Transcendence could have been a little bit more beneficial, but regardless, it may be okay for this next push. Yeah, really just Desert Frost and the shield to contest with JZK on the soldier here. So now with the tactical visor, it could be a little bit difficult for the defenders without that transcendence in their pocket. Coming back towards the attacking right-hand side, the defenders will meet them there at the top of the stairs. A lot of spam coming through from Mounchies, but the defense will use the wall to kind of barricade themselves a little bit. Desert Frost very close to a shatter, and Mounchies could be in a really difficult spot if he's able to get that through the stairway. PC Master Race, though, able takes down JZK, so they won't have to worry about the tactical visor for a second. Now it's the defensive Blizzard coming out, and the... Yeah, he was able to catch 3, I think, there. Sergeant Soup falls immediately. Another Maywall makes it a little bit difficult for Mounchies, but I think they kind of stood back a little bit, able to come back in and start getting a couple kills. Desert Frost now down. Desert Haze will drop right behind him, and a couple kill advantage coming in for Mounchies as they attack the point. Blood dropping will be huge for them. A tick gone here now from Mounchies, and I don't think Sewing Play can really get onto point, but I think use the Nano actually got a couple. It's Weary Bunny who's now completely caught out, but a nice bubble from Zarya will keep him up. Only momentarily, though. Here comes the Transcendence from Desert Haze. Not quite in time for the Tactical Visor, who still took out 2 here for the attack, but I think... Yeah, it looks like the defense from DLG will be able to kind of galvanize a little bit, and Mounchies will have to retreat to re-engage. So all credit so far to DLG on their defense. 6 minutes on the clock for Mounchies as they started engaging this point. Just 2 minutes left, and they've weathered a few ultimate fights as well. So solid defense here from DLG. Sergeant Soup looking for Sewing Plague there in the back. Again, the Maywall will separate out a couple, but the Graviton from Gaming Sorcerer, if they come up behind there, that could be really beneficial, but I don't know if they have anything to really combine with it. The Coalescence perhaps, but have to get into a better position for it. There goes the Graviton up on the top. Is able to catch, I think, 3, and now swinging in big. The Maywall's not able to save them. And Weary Bunny with a spectacular combo there with JZK. Now a Transcendence from Sergeant Soup. Spectacularly timed just to negate the Blizzard coming through from Bruh. That'll be a cap for Mounchies. Really solid Transcendence from Sergeant Soup. I think they were going to be able to cap it regardless of just waiting for that Blizzard and able to keep everybody up, so there was no risk involved. With time on the clock here, Mounchies off to a good start and almost an identical time bank to what they had on Nimbani on their initial attack. I think that was 133. They finished this with 132. Can never say Mounchies aren't consistent. Now coming back on the second round, we saw DLG respond to Mounchies completing the map on Nimbani really well. They came out with a lot of time on the clock, and I think finished with 2 minutes and change. So we'll see if a similar attack will help them tie up the series and send it into extra rounds. But I think Mounchies kind of have their tails up a little bit and looking to take this game and keep their playoff hopes alive. Coming out here for the attackers, they've got Solitude on the Brigida, and we're usually seeing Solitude on kind of a Genji more DPS role, so it'll be interesting to see if Solitude does switch over that direction. PC Master Race on the Zarya coming in very quickly. Our DLG is Bruz here on the Reinhardt, Desert Frost, a triple tank. Actually, Goats comp, yeah, Desert Frost coming out on the Divas, Desert Haze, and Sewing Plague on the Lucio Moira. A little bit difficult to try and get through. The defense not giving them a lot of room to work with, but still able to get to this upper section. JZK will take down Desert Haze immediately, so a 6v5 here for the defenders gives them a little bit of confidence as the rest of DLG comes in to engage this first point. For the defenders, it's C-Team Alpha on the Zarya as Gaming Sorcerer goes Reaper. Hey, JCK already with the Tyrant takes down PC Master Race. That's so quick from that Junkrat. Weary Bunny on the Reinhardt, Meteor Coast on Anna, and Sergeant Soup there on the Zenyatta. But yeah, that's all you need. Just a single kill there right off the bat. Able to take down Desert Haze, followed up with a tire, and immediately Mounchies start off with a really good defense here and already earning ultimates. Getting that ultimate charge faster than their opponents, and that's going to be a really good start for them if they're trying to full hold here to take this game. Gaming Sorcerer able to get a pick as well. And again, it's just, yeah, just Mounchies able to get one pick here, there. Already a shatter for Weary Bunny. Bruh, his opposite for the attacker, still 75% to his shatter. So just things going well for Mounchies. I think they're focusing their targets and able to get these picks. Yeah, Weary Bunny kind of floating around the outside of the point a little bit, kind of just baiting the rest of the attack to come through before he shatters. Finds it here directly into a shield, however, though. I think he is nanoed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but not really able to make the most of either one of those ultimates, so maybe kind of too wasted there for Mounchies. JCK will clean up regardless with another pick onto Desert Haze with the tire, but yeah, kind of disappointed to see that the nano shatter kind of fall apart there directly into the shield. Bruh, who now has a shatter of his own and could use it to contest for the attackers. Bit of a low spot. Gaming Sorcerer on the Reaper, and a very kind of going in pretty deep, able to find that Reinhardt, but suffers for it and drops there. So all even with PC Master Race, full charge, and a Graviton. So DLG really needs to kind of get into this point quickly. Maybe finding an opportunity. Here's the engagement. The Graviton not yet coming out. I'm able to wait to get to the point. Sergeant Soup melts underneath that shield, or the beam coming in from PC Master Race. Both Gravitons out now. PC the only one available on the point to try and take down a few of these members. But God, the Coalescence from Sowing Plague combined with just that 91 energy beam will completely melt Mounchies. And that's going to be DLG capping this point and going on to B. Yeah, CT melted there. I think it's just Gaming Sorcerer who may have tried to escape a little bit. But yeah, best of luck, my guy. Best of luck. Yeah, jump off the side to regroup. Foregone conclusion that this point is gone, but still 1 minute and 15 seconds. A little bit disadvantaged in the time bank. DLG able to cap that a little bit later, so now looking to back in 5 minutes, but few ultimates. Similar defensive position here for Mounchies at the top of the stairs. DLG tries to engage similarly on the attacking right-hand side. No Graviton for either team, but PC Master Race about 70% away, and that'll be definitely helpful. 5 ultimates, though, for the defenders. You got to expect that they'll be able to take this first point. JZK using the first point here, able to grab 2, and Sowing Plague, Master Race, PC Master Race both drop as a Frost out of mech, and that's exactly what you need out of a single tire. Investing 1 ultimate to win a team fight is ideal. And not many people do it better than JZK. Nice DPS player in the Contender tier. Speaking of which, All-Star games coming up. Usually we do one combined All-Star game, but the growth of the community has kind of pushed us to want to do individual tier All-Star games. So looking forward to that. We'll have more details for you in the server. Just make sure you get into our Discord if you're not already. There's a link at the bottom of the website, and I think we have one in Mixer eventually, but on our Twitch page as well. Death Blossom coming through from Gaming Sorcerer, able to grab 1 plus take Desert Frost out of mech. That Transcendence, though, will help keep the rest of the defense up. Oh, I don't know, though. Desert Legion started to get a couple of these kills. Weary Bunny and Gaming Sorcerer drop. No one really on the point, though, and an opportunity for the defense to come back through. Spectacular Graviton on the high ground just to keep the rest of the contention coming back from the rest of the members, but Sergeant Soup on point will continue the stall. JZK back now to Sound Barrier here just to keep Desert Legion Gaming on their feet. The Shatter will take Weary Bunny down. Swinging away is Bruh on the Reinhardt. Still not a single tick gone. The defensive Graviton catches 4. Here comes a Coalescence, though, to try and keep them up. Sowing Plague will take down CT Malfa and will be able to keep the rest of Desert Legion on their feet as they grab this tick. Looking for a second. Kills going the way of the team in blue. And again, PC Master Race just high charge here. Melting members left and right, using those bubbles efficiently, and Weary Bunny is not going to stand a chance on the Winston. Still 3 minutes on the clock. They're just pixels away from capping the point here. DLG taking full advantage of a few of these ultimates. But still the contention coming up. Finally able to cap the point, and fantastic response there from DLG. We go into round 3. A little bit of deja vu coming in. Numbani, Mounchies able to cap the point, but then or complete the map rather, but then Coming back in, DLG was able to cap a little bit more quickly, and then a solid defense from them led them to a win in the game. Sergeant Soup dropping though. I'm going to pause briefly. Let's try and get it back in. All right, so we'll have to unpause here. Unfortunately, only 1 3-minute pause allowed per team, so obviously Sergeant Soup not quite able to get back in, but the lengthy delay, I think, is all but just exhausted that time bank allowed. So hopefully Sergeant Soup can get back in, but Mounchies will have to play disadvantaged until they can get their 6th member through. That'll be a difficult loss there for the attackers trying to continue capping this point. Obviously, this point's hard enough to cap with 6, but hopefully Soup can get back in the next 33 seconds.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I live for a good fight.
All right, there we go. Soup back in the game. Hopefully he's able to load in the next 10 seconds. Obviously, we hate to see players drop and not be able to, help out the teams here. So, got the pause in place. Glad he was able to get back in. Now for the attackers. C-Team back on the Zarya, and I think played really well on the Zarya. Gaming Sorcerer. It looks like they're trying to go goats with gaming on the Diva. Weary Bunny over on the Reaper. JZK, Beatty or Coast supports Sergeant Soup. Comes back in on the Lucio. Shouldn't have lost too much time there, so hopefully he'll be able to join the team. For the defender, still pretty brawly. I like the Mei again from Bruh. It seemed like it worked out really well. And sitting a little bit further back, here comes there's the isolation. Again, just solid timing. I think maybe they let a little bit too many through. Desert Frost still able to clean up, though. Weary Bunny and JZK will drop there. And that's exactly how they drew it up. Bit of a back half coming through. Intention, but no problem for Desert Haze. Able to take down Sergeant Soup, trying to be sneaky there in the back. DLG again with a good defense, and Bruh just sitting here waiting for another opportunity to wall off a member. I think that strategy's been working well for them. And just sitting a little bit further back. I see him sitting here away from the choke, encouraging the attack to come through, but they know they can't quite, or they'll be caught out. For this time, though, now it's a fight on, but I don't know if they have a lot of their supports with them all over the place. Hard to tell who really has a lot of this advantage. Fight kind of in a couple different places. Just 22 seconds on the clock here for Mounchies, trying to get into the point as quickly as possible. JZK getting killed into Solitude will definitely help them. But they need to actually either focus a target or move on to the point. A Transcendence here from DLG is exactly what they need right now. With just 10 seconds left, get a couple kills here. They can wrap it up immediately. Shatter coming in from Weary Bunny is able to catch Bruh, but not until the Blizzard comes out, and which gets caught out there in a shatter of his own. Here comes a Graviton from the attack. Last possible chance to cap this. The self-destruct goes directly into the shield from Desert Frost and won't really cause any issues for them. Still, actually, looks like a few of these members on the point. Mounchies might be able to continue pushing this, but as I say, that's starting to fall now. Overtime meter starting to drop. Yeah, C-Team just can't quite hold on. A few of these supports still left. Sergeant Soup just bouncing around as much as possible. They can't quite get that Lucio down, and now the reinforcements coming through from Mounchies could give them a little bit of hope. They just need the tick at the very least, but this DLG defense just embedded under the point, giving them a really difficult time. That's exactly what they need. Those sound barrier coming out from Sergeant Soup, perfectly timed. Gets a poop on a PC Master Race, and things starting to swing the direction of Mounchies here on the point. Still in overtime. They can't lose anybody else. Solitude here for DLG trying to defend for his life. Bruh comes back in on the Mei, but I think they're going to be able to clean up that defender as well. Still the contention coming through, though, from DLG. At some point, they're going to have to concede this point. They may just do it here. Sowing Plague back on. Bro with another Blizzard, and that could swing it back the other direction. God, the pendulum of this fight all over the place. Nice shield here from Weary Bunny trying to keep everybody up. They're able to survive the Blizzard. C-Team taking down Sowing Plague. Mounchies fighting for their playoff lives here. Trying to get anything out of this game and finally clear the rest of the defense to take the point. Oh my god. In overtime. Solid, like a minute of overtime fight there. And Mounchies did not give up. Got the reinforcements. A nice stall there from the supports. Sergeant Soup and I believe BDR Coast and JZK able to stay on for as long as possible. Rest of their members came back. And now with 30 seconds to go into attack point B. Solitude in with a Ravage to keep the defenders up for this, what probably will be the final fight of this round. Ultimates building here for Mounchies. It's another defensive transcendence, though, from Desert Haze, and that could be exactly what they need to split this the other direction. Defensive Graviton comes out as well. Desert Frost with a nice pin will grab two. Members dropping all over the place from Mounchies, as now it's a coalescence from both sides. Beatier Coast and Sowing Plague with ultimates up. Now Weary coming in with the Primal Rage, just trying to contest, but completely taken down. Sowing Plague had his number there. JZK trying to hold on. The self-destruct coming through from Gaming Sorcerer will fall flat. They'll close out that Diva, and now it's just C-Team walled off here by Bruh. Sergeant Soup back in as well. But honestly, it looks like DLG is going to have the members. Obviously, the defensive respawn's a little bit shorter and can't quite get back from his ultimate in time. He's able to get the pick, but that'll be it. Round 3 done for Mounchies. And all credit, obviously, for capping A. It's a difficult point to cap. DLG, their work cut out for them here, but an opportunity to win the game, tied up 1-1. So final round of the game. Again, if you're just joining us, as an update in the Contender tier, DLG and Mounchies looking to get into the Contender playoffs. Nothing guaranteed for them just yet. Desert Legion Gaming coming off a tough loss last night to Phantom Thieves 0-3 and puts them at 3-4. So even a win here puts them at 4-4 and about, I think, 8 or 10 map points rather. And they'll be kind of right in the mix, but they'll need some help from results elsewhere throughout the week and weekend. For Mounchies, coming into this game 3-3, they have another makeup game against the 2-5 Panthera Tigress later in the weekend. A win there and a win here would put them at 5-3 and definitely in a good position to make those playoffs. So Mounchies looking for the win. DLG, if they lose this game, they are certainly out of the playoffs, dropping to 3-5. So a lot on the line for both teams. I think DLG's come out in this game really strongly, and I think that they have a good opportunity here to take it. 2 minutes and 47 seconds, and they just need a take and a tick. But again, the defense from Mounchies, we saw it on Watchpoint Gibraltar, can be ruthless. The attack from DLG tight, coming up to the choke point, wasting absolutely no time directly through and trying to take over this attack. Kill swapping as Weary Bunny and Bruh both down. Reinhardt's down for both sides. It's a 5v5 here. Desert Frost now at a mech on the point, but C-Team's low as well. Kill swapping either side. I think DLG have the advantage, though, coming to point very, very quickly. And now it's just supports on the periphery here for Mounchies trying to defend this, but I think DLG will comfortably take the first point lightning quickly. All the time in the world here for Desert Legion Gaming, looking very solid here on the point. Yeah, and just within seconds able to cap that point quickly, and now all they need is a single take here to win the game. DLG looking to go up to 4-4, keep their playoff hopes alive, and Mounchies just, they needed this win. We'll see if they can hold on to this defense and at least pull out a draw, which honestly, a draw doesn't super benefit both these teams. I think it does benefit Mounchies a little bit more because they do have the game in hand, but regardless, coming to point now, Mounchies looking to engage the attackers who are coming directly into point. JCK with a tire, may find a couple, goes in the back, finds Solitude on the Brigida, but now it's a coalescence the other direction. Kill still going the way of Mounchies, at least on the surface. Gaming Sorcerer able to get Desert Frost out of mech, and then use the data to take out another. JCK grabs Bruh as well. It's an attacking Graviton coming out, but the Transcendence from Sergeant Soup may be helpful. I think, you know what? Ooh, possibly baited out a little bit. It was a nice Transcendence, obviously countering the Grav, and it's going to take a little while to earn both of those ultimates, but for DLG, Sell the Shatter on the way, and they've got Solitude's Rally. So Meteor Coast still here with the Nano boost for Mounchies, and CT Malfa with a Graviton just waiting for the engagement. So at least on paper, it looks like Mounchies should be able to hold this at least a little bit longer. Already 3/4 away to a tick. Finally, Mounchies decide to come back in and contest just to do the Graviton, but PC Master Race, the only one caught, does die regardless. Bakil still going the way of Mounchies. Sergeant Soup able to grab a nice double. Both tanks down for that Zenyatta. Popping off here. Grabs a third on the Desert Frost out of mech. Now they whittled this time bank down to just under 60 seconds. The progress meter falls harmlessly back to 0 as DLG will have one more good attack here. They will have 2 ultimates though. PC Master Race switching over to the Genji for DLG. Bruh still with a Shatter. Desert Frost 5% away from a self-destruct. When out quickly, Sowing Plague and Desert Haze can earn their ultimates, so it should be just a bloodbath on the point here with ultimates for both sides in this final fight. But all comes down to this, tied up 1-1. Just a tick. And DLG can win this. Mounchies looking to hold on to the draw and just get away 1-1 in this game. Nice aggressive attack coming back in through Bruh. Immediately onto point, gets trapped. Nice trap there from JCK, who may just take advantage. Dropping the tire back in. No one's got any help. He does find PC Master Race, who just switched over to that Genji. Self-destruct coming in from the top. Desert Frost looking to catch a couple unawares. It's a 3. Oh my god. Desert Frost with a triple for DLG, and they may take this point. Swinging in a nice pin here. It's a dead eye the other direction, though. Gaming Sorcerer with a triple as well is able to take down 3 and completely offsets that self-destruct. Regardless, the overtime meter starting to tick down. What a flurry on the point. No one can contest, and that'll be a draw here. Ooh, and the teams just walk away. Even Steven, 1-1 for both. And, I mean, honestly, just game-saving ultimates on both sides. You saw the triple and thought that that would do it, but Gaming Sorcerer, this has got to be that triple Deadeye. What a fantastic ultimate here. When just right at the death, Desert Frost drops. I think they thought this was 1. It just pops 3. Both supports and Solitude down. And then just clean up work here from Mounchies. Nice draw, and I think, given the scope of this game, it's got to be, I think that's a pretty fair result. Solid from both of these teams. We'll have some post-game thoughts and see if we can get a post-game interview when we come back. And welcome back to Console Gaming League. A little bit anticlimactic, all square here for Mounchies and Desert Legion Gaming, but you know, again, just all credit to Mounchies for being able to defend there at the end. Desert Legion couldn't quite break through, and obviously the fantastic Gaming Sorcerer Deadeye there towards the end helped seal it after a you know, equally spectacular triple bomb from DLG. So I think, again, a pretty fair reflection of this game. Both sides fought really well, and I think both look stronger on each of the maps they won. Obviously, Mounchies with a full hold on Watchpoint definitely deserved to win that, but DLG with a very, just, I think, focused attack on Numbani allowed them to take that point. So, again, what can you say? I think playoff hopes completely shot here for Desert Legion Gaming, who dropped a 3-4-1, not a deficit they can overcome. Mounchies at 3-3-1, it starts to look tough. Again, they'll need a lot of help from a few other areas in the contender tier, but the win over Panther is high risk, puts them at 4-3-1, and that's a better record than 4-4 teams. So, I mean, like I said, it depends on a number of different things, but there's an outside chance that Mounchies can still get in. We'll have to look at the bracket. But we will have the CGL postgame and some postgame highlights and some interviews from C-Team Alpha and Desert Haze, the captains of Mounchies and DLG respectively. We'll have that for you in just a second, so be right back. Now you just have to be conscientious if you're the attackers. Stay on that payload with 6 seconds left, not getting any additional time left. Self-destruct over the top just to offset the fight. Fantastic double there for C-Team Alpha. Picks up 10, look for a chance to just push everybody off in overtime, but decides to use it here. Attacking Graviton comes out. It's self-destruct as well. Combination catches 2. Fantastic combo there. That's a team kill for Desert Legion Gaming, and they will comfortably coast into the first one of the series here on Numbani. Coalescence perhaps, but we'll have to get into a better position for it. There goes the Graviton up on the top, is able to catch, I think, 3, and now swinging in big. The Maywall's not able to save them, and Weary Bunny with a spectacular combo there. No Graviton for either team, but PC Master Race about 70% away, and that'll be definitely helpful. 5 ultimates, though, for the defenders. You got to expect that they'll be able to take this first point. JZK using the first one here, able to grab 2, and some capping the point here. DLG taking full advantage of a few of these ultimates. Still the contention coming up, finally able to cap the point, and fantastic response there from DLG. We go into Self-destruct coming in from the top. Desert Frost looking to catch a couple unawares. It's a 3. Oh my god, Desert Frost with a triple for DLG, and they just may take this point. Swinging in, a nice pin here. It's a dead out the other direction though. Gaming Sorcerer, fantastic ultimate here. When just right at the death, Desert Frost dropped. I think they thought this was 1. It just pops 3. Both supports and Solitude down. And welcome to the CGL postgame. Your host, Salt and Pepper, is still with you. And we've got C-Team Alpha and Desert Haze, both the captains from both the teams, and interested to see, just kind of hear their thoughts after really just a back and forth game. If you're just joining us, Desert Legion Gaming and Mounchies finished all tied up in a week 4 makeup. Desert Legion dropping to 3-4-1, Mounchies 3-3-1 with a game to play. DLG's season has ended. I think they're probably going to be out of playoff contention given the rest of the games left to play in the Contender tier. But regardless, pretty strong season from Desert Legion Gaming just to come down to this final game. Desert Haze, glad to have you with us first and foremost. I guess congratulations on the draw. I mean, obviously not your ideal situation, but still,
no, yeah,
you know, it was still a well-fought game.
All right, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely a close game, for sure. And we were, even if we had won, we were probably pretty. It would have been tough for us to make it into the playoffs with our map wins. But yeah, it was a really close game, really back and forth. Great plays from both sides. I could tell you all the things we could improve on, you know, hindsight and everything, but you know, in the heat of the moment, it's tough. And you know, I'm proud of my team. Big improvement from last season, so we're happy going into I guess postseason, whatever you call that.
Off season, I guess at this point, but
yeah, off season, yeah. That's
coming out of New Bonnie, you guys defending first, and Mounchies with a bit of a kind of a labored approach through, but they finally capped the map. You guys come out immediately and come in really strongly. Kind of mirrored your attack somewhat on Hanamura as well. Just really strong attack. How would you kind of consider your approach to these type of maps when you don't have a series with a control point in the middle, when you know you're going to be switching back and forth, attacking and defending? How do you keep up like the mental focus?
Yeah, so Numbani, actually, I would say we came out definitely very not focused. We were just laughing, you know, the game took a little bit to start, and we were just kind of laughing and joking with each other. Came to game time, and we didn't even talk about our strategy until right before, and we just were not ready to play. And Mounchies took advantage of it, you know, and they came through with that attack. I would say usually Numbani is one of our strengths, but today we just we weren't ready to come out. But yeah, I mean, like I said, credit to Mounchies. Those guys did a great job today.
Yeah, that's the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit. But obviously now out of the playoffs, I know looking for maybe regroup a little bit in the offseason, looking ahead, hopefully we'll have you here in season 6. Obviously you guys have been in the community, in the league here for a while. So again, congratulations on a pretty solid season. Obviously 3-4-1 when you've got, you know, just a much larger tier than I think we're used to, coming out with a really strong finish, the draw here. And it's, I mean, obviously nice not to, you know, finish the season on a loss, right?
Yeah, definitely. Last season we didn't have a single win. We lost every map, so definitely a big improvement from last season. We're looking to continue with that going into next season.
Very nice, very nice. And yeah, obviously that dead eye at the end, the spectacular bomb from Desert Frost, and it looked like for a second you guys were able to cap that, but then yeah, that dead eye coming through kind of offset it. But again, just fantastic watch. Obviously sad that for you guys getting the draw, but from a, you know, a neutral standpoint, definitely highly entertaining game. So yeah, really appreciate you coming on, and yeah, hopefully we'll see more of Desert Legion Gaming in season 6
for sure.
Now on to Mounchies, and we've got C-Team Alpha, the captain for Mounchies here. And I know we've gotten to get one of your games on here and do an interview before, but now looking at a 3-3 in week 8, you've got 2 games you needed to make up. The first one here against DLG, and kind of walk me through your approach to this game. Obviously not the same map set that you're expecting against Panthera Tigris, playing the Dorado map set, but coming into this one, how did you have to change your approach preparing for basically 6 different maps?
Yeah, it was a lot this week, but we knew heading in that they were a really strong GOATS team. We see them run a lot when, like, we went back and watched some of their film. But so we tried to think of counters to that, as well as, you know, what we exactly were going to run. We didn't have all the people we wanted here today, so because we had to schedule both games, so couldn't find a good time. But so we just really tried to prepare for a good GOATS team and a strong team that has a lot of coordination. They were really well coordinated. But yeah, it was a lot to come up with all the different strategies. We're usually only dealing with 3 maps, and it was 6 this time. But we played, you know, we've all played these maps before, so it wasn't too hard. We had, you know, some strategies in our backlog, but yeah. So bit more than usual, but nothing insane.
So we get a complete 360 from you guys. Obviously, Numbani coming in, you did cap the map, and you had about a minute and a half left. DLG comes through and just rolls to the point. You get a little bit more time, and a really, honestly, with just 90 seconds, a pretty spectacular attack on Numbani to be able to get it through. You get the 4th point, and ultimately DLG is able to take that map. But then coming out on your initial defense on Watchpoint, the full hold there, you look like a completely different team. So talk me through like you're just between rounds, what you guys talked about and how you came out so strongly to get the win there on Watchpoint.
Well, for us, I know. There, I thought that his team wasn't focused. We were same thing. We were really not focused heading into that map, and really showed our shot calling stuff, calling out targets. Focus on targets was terrible. We didn't have any strats for that map, and the way they play Numbani versus how we like to play maps really differs. And what they play is really good against ours, which is a credit to them because I think they have a bit more of a diverse like team comps they're able to run, especially with the people they had. So that was a rough map for us. And then heading on to Gibraltar, we love our dive, so Gibraltar's always been one of our strongest maps. And so yeah, we were really excited to play that map because we knew it would get us back into the swing of things. And it came out sitting like that, where we played a really strong defense. Our tanks started peeling for our supports, and yeah, it all fell together into a good first point hold. You know, a little shaky on the defense because once again we got a little cocky and we didn't talk or focus on targets, but you know, it was good. And then yeah, so that's all it was for us. We just had to focus up and get ready for our best map.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, you came out really strongly in Hanamura and finished with almost an identical time back on the initial attack and weren't quite able to get over the line. But ultimately, again, the triples from both sides of the end kind of sealed the fate and a nice draw to finish out the game. Now looking ahead to your Panthera Tigers game, again, you're still trying to schedule that, and I get that. Sitting there at the bottom of their division, I guess your division, at 2-5, a really good opportunity for you guys to go, you know, if you're able to get that win 4-3-1, and then maybe your playoff hopes stay, you know, alive, albeit slightly. So what's your mindset going to that Panthera Tigers game? Is that, like, have you able to schedule that yet? Do you know when you'll be able to play, or how does that look?
It's tough because they're EU, we're NAEST, so it's really hard to get time scheduled. And of course,
Sure.
We've been trying to get this game scheduled for a long time, so it's tough. We're trying to get hopefully for Sunday. That's very tentative though. That's what we've been talking about, but it's hopefully for Sunday. And you know, we feel confident going in, especially, you know, them being at the bottom tier, and we feel still our record doesn't really represent how good of a team we are because we've had to forfeit 2 of our 3 losses.
Oh, I see.
So we're feeling pretty confident going into it, but you know, for us it's always a bit weird playing on EU. Like if we ever end up have to play on EU servers, it's you know, always a chance that something goes weird. So we're confident if we just play a normal game, but you know, it's tough with the scheduling, and because last time we played them we had to forfeit because we had a weird time and we couldn't get players on. So, but yeah, well, we're feeling good if we can just make sure we get the game actually played.
Yeah, fingers crossed you guys are able to get it played. I know a lot of games up on Sunday, so it should be some really good matches. And again, Contender Tier playoffs as tight as they could be. So, yeah, but thank you for coming on the post game. Appreciate the thoughts on both sides. Desert Haze as well. Thank you both. C-Team Alpha, the captains of Desert Legion Gaming, and Mounchies, going to join the post game. And just final thoughts here, guys. Really strong performance from both sides. Obviously, we saw a lot of really good DPS work, a lot of good flexibility from both these sides. Mounchies still with a bit of an outside chance to get into the playoffs, but it will be slim. But yeah, I mean, again, like C-Team was saying, potentially gameplay on Sunday. Make sure in the Discord you can check all of that good stuff out. I think that will just about do it for us, though. This kind of concludes our first stream on Mixer, and yeah, thank you all for joining. For those new follows, if you're not following yet, make sure you jump on it, because we'll try and get more matches on here. If you're already a follow on Mixer, you're not following on Twitch, twitch.tv/CGL Overwatch is exactly where you need to be for all the CGL action as we wrap up the rest of the season. A lot of exciting games this weekend. See if we can get you that schedule just while I'm thinking about it. Streams coming up this weekend. Again, with playoffs on the line. You know, all these games incredibly important. We've got Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, Kai does Twitch, twitch.tv/Kai does Twitch. Kai's got the Contender tier game, Panthera Leo and the Boosting Company. Both those two teams first and second in the Horizon Division 4 Contender. That very well may decide the number 1 seed, or rather number 2 seed in the Horizon Division. So this is a very important game. Phantom Thieves will run away with the first seed, now 8-0 at 20 points, which also Phantom Thieves only dropped 4 map points all season, finishing with almost a perfect record. So all credit to them. They finished top of the Contender tier. Panthera Leo and Boosting Company. Panthera Leo coming in 6-1, Boosting Co 5-2, but with a 3-0 win over Panthera Leo, Boosting Co would leapfrog them into second and get that first round bye in the playoffs. So a lot to play for in that game. That's Saturday, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Then we've got Unacceptable versus Resiliency. Unacceptable has already locked the second place spot in the Carbon tier. Resiliency, the newcomers, 0-7, looking for their first win against a strong team. That will be difficult, but that's Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Fallen Potatoes' channel. Fallen and Blink will bring you that game. From the rival tier, Befall versus Apollo Rising. That's Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Sarge has that one covered. Mounchies Juniors versus Instalock. Big game here from the Carbon tier. Mounchies Juniors secure their playoff position with a win. Instalock, who were eliminated from the playoffs last week, looking for an opportunity to play spoiler to Mounchies Juniors and open the door for insert team name here to get that third Carbon tier playoff spot. Then Challenger tier, 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. It's D9 versus Chaotic. D9 coming in and doing really well, also undefeated, looking for their final win of the season and stay undefeated at 8-0. A really strong game against PCOW in Week 4 saw them able to keep their undefeated record. Now they go up against Chaotic, sitting at 5-2, coming off a loss to Inner Circle in a very solid game that was last week. Then Team Oof versus Capitalism. Oof coming off of a really solid win against Multiverse Gaming and looking to take down Capitalism, sitting there at 2-5. But their record doesn't really tell the whole story, as Capitalism is a relatively new team. But regardless, Oof still looking to they're 4-3 right now in the Contender tier, and also one of those teams kind of looking for that 5th win to secure their spot in the playoffs. So definitely a good one to watch as well. Then Carbon tier, 9 p.m. Eastern. Wasted Potential versus insert team name here. That's the one I was talking about. Wasted Potential undefeated in the Carbon tier, sitting at 6-0-1, looking for their 7th win that will leave them unbeaten through the season. Insert team name here coming in at, I believe, 3-4, with a win here would, as long as Mounchies Juniors lose, will be able to leapfrog into the 3rd place spot in the Carbon tier. So a lot of exciting playoff games and playoff deciding games coming up this weekend. So make sure in the Discord and in the stream schedule so you can check out when all that is happening. I think that'll just about do it for us. Make sure you tune into the CGL Breakdown Tuesdays 9:30 Eastern and the CGL Happy Hour Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then don't forget, next weekend, PlayStation 4 GM tourney. Got a lot of high level players to kick off the CGL PS4 scene. Really excited for that one, so make sure you're watching. We'll have it on Twitch and possibly on Mixer as well. But that's about it, guys. For DLG and Mounchies for the Contender tier, I'm Salt and Pepper, and we'll see you guys next time.